The Ramblin Tea House is an entertainment-only podcast, meaning we're for entertainment only. While laughter is the best medicine, it's not the only medical attention you should be seeking.
We have the same amount of degrees as WebMD, which is to say, none. Here at the Ramblin Tea House, we endeavor to handle all topics as respectfully as possible, but to err is human.
So tip your waitress, be out by closing, and please, don't park over the line.
There's still lights on the washer, though.
Oh, no, that's because it's broke.
Oh, okay.
Those aren't even supposed to be red. They're supposed to be blue. It dings when it's clean. That's all that really matters. Is it actually notifies me when it's done. That's
the important part?
The important part.
That's what you need out of a dishwasher?
Uh-huh.
Not even that it washed the dishes, just that it tells you when it thinks it's done washing the dishes.
No, it definitely needs to actually wash the dishes.
Got it.
Dishes need to be clean. The cleanest. Sanitation is important when you have food touching a surface. However, it's important that it tells me when it's done, otherwise I'll forget that I was washing dishes.
Like I do with laundry.
Yes.
It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Except I don't think your dishes would grow mold if you just left them there.
If you leave dirty dishes in the sink, they will in fact grow mold.
Yeah,
but it will take over your entire kitchen, and then you have to move.
I was talking about clean dishes, but thanks for that nightmare scenario. I appreciate that, Nick. No, we had
I mentioned that the mold is sentient because that is an important part.
That's worse. So, I had a question for you. Where'd you learn how to make crepes?
Oh, my auntie was friends with this lawyer lady. That was one of the things she did. She did a lot of activism work, listened to a lot of Turkish rock. Right now she's doing her own thing.
Protesting some pipelines or whatever.
Yep, she's protesting right now. I think she went back to her second house with 3 cats that she owns. No, there's 4 cats in total.
Good.
4 cats
More
in total.
cats. More cats is better.
I hate cats. But okay.
I think you being allergic to cats is a big part of that. Like, they make your airways close up and shit.
It's a fair assumption.
Like, I don't think I'd like animals either if, like... Well, that's not true, because I'm allergic to cats, and I had one for 18 years, so...
Yeah. So, lies. Just continuously pouring out of your mouth.
And you went into business with me.
Did.
I'm a really bad liar.
You look like you've lied, and you're trying to figure out how to take back everything you've ever said.
I've said nothing. I don't speak words. My tongue was actually cut out by pirates.
Okay. What kind of pirates?
I want to say Somalian, but I don't know anything about Somalia.
You had the opportunity to say sky pirates, and you didn't, and it's over. We're burning down the bar. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, not sky pirates.
Or land pirates.
Water pirates.
Those are just normal pirates.
Exactly.
But were ninjas involved?
Ninjas could have been involved. I was busy having my tongue cut out.
Also, what kind of deal did you make to get it sewn back in?
It's
or is that not your tongue? Are you speaking with...
Am I speaking with a foreign tongue?
Yes.
And I could tell you, but the arcane magic they use forbids me from revealing the steps that they took to give me my tongue back.
Ah, so it is your tongue.
Oh, it's my tongue now, because it's in my body.
Well, possession
is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, I believe it's like 10/10 when it comes to, like, you know, body parts.
Things that are sewn into you, flesh-wise, yeah.
I mean, I don't feel any stitches.
That's a terrible sentence. I hated that.
Things that are sewn into you, flesh-wise.
That was a terrible sentence.
I mean, I don't feel...
into this world.
I don't feel any stitches, so maybe they just, like, gave me some special poultice and, like, regrew
Feel
it.
Prozaid. Just dab it on there. Wait till it gets tacky.
Just
stick it on there.
Just some magic band-aid.
Use some around the edges. Just
and if
the
nothing
tacky consistency.
If nothing else, epoxy. Oh.
Don't ever eat Prozaid, Lily. Don't do it.
I don't even know what it is.
I know. It's a water-based adhesive. Medical grade, so you can put on actual, like, medical prosthetics.
Yeah, no. I was going, like, deep magic. You're talking actual science. Go you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think if you put Prozaid and try to that's not how... That's where the magic came in!
That's where the magic came in!
Prozaid and magic.
Prozaid and magic.
Prozaid and magic. Which, it's Prozaid, not Prozaid.
Because when you say Prozaid, it sounds like Prozac's cousin from visiting out of town.
Either one. Both.
Maybe Prozac for your... Prozaid.
Prozaid. Prozac for your prostate. That's not even... I would hope that none of those things ever had to be uttered in a sentence together.
Sounds like something that would exist on the
It's
geeky part of the
something
internet.
like deep subreddit of ER nurses
Who are like,
so like
I
this
accidentally
happened.
figured out that you can give Prozac to people for prostate problems. Oh my
Keep it there with Prozac. Don't do it. Don't. That's awful. Why would I speak words ever? We're doing something wholesome, right? Because we can't get worse than we could. I could dive into the anatomical structure of that sentence.
Please don't. Please, Nick.
Someone needs to stop me.
Prostate Prozac.
And Prozac.
And Prozac.
Wait, is the Prozac mixed?
No.
With the Prozac?
No.
Like it would. It's water based. So just saying.
Can we talk about Shakespeare now?
Okay, it's your night. I'll lead the way while I question all my life choices up to this point. Speaking of which, we're out of Prozac.
What the fuck? I gotta go. Today at the Ramblin Tea House, we're going to be serving an extra hot cup of feminism in Iambic Pentameter.
Did that count as a poem?
I can't count the syllables.
So it's gonna be up to our audience?
Yeah.
Anybody? No.
We rang the bell. We know
We don't talk about that. Anyway, Daisy, can you actually, cool.
Last time, I didn't come in prepared because I thought I would be fine, and this time I didn't come in prepared because I have been preparing my entire life for this moment. Years of academy training shall not be wasted on this day. So,
Right here. Right now. In this moment.
Rather than talking about a singular play or set of plays like I did last time, we're going to be talking about the women of Shakespeare.
Woo!
So, buckle
there
in.
are many.
Yeah, so strap in, hold on to your hats, pull your socks, whatever you gotta do.
Buckling down.
Buckling
We got
down.
this.
Okay.
My lead shoes to the floor. I am seated upright. No, I'm not.
She sits in italics.
It's... Anyway, I am buckled. I am prepared. I am lounging
So.
in eager anticipation for the words from your face.
Gross. How dare you? I physically cannot talk about the women of Shakespeare without talking about Beatrice. Because literally every time we talk about Shakespeare, I try and talk about Emma Thompson and Much Ado About Nothing.
Yes.
Literally every time.
Mhm.
Her and Natalie Dormer.
I mean, you just talk about Natalie Dormer, but yeah.
I do, yeah. I don't know how much I talk about Shakespeare. I don't know how much...
In the last show, you didn't talk a whole lot about Shakespeare himself. You kind of did. You
kind of
talked
did.
about, how we all know he's three men in a trench coat.
Obviously. That's the only way he could have written all these plays.
Three illegitimate noblemen in a trench coat, who are technically the heirs to the throne, or
They
are the
impregnated
fathers
Elizabeth.
of the heir to the throne?
They are the fathers of the heir to the throne.
Or is it like a father, son, grandson situation scenario?
Like a multi-generational
trench
coat man?
Trench coat man. Yes. That's where the happy place come from. The really young one. And then you got the drama. Lily, water. Yeah, okay, no. Straight face. Come on. The youngest one, he writes the comedies. The best ones. The middle one writes the dramas. Okay?
And then
The oldest one, he's the history plays. Because he got that experience. And then they all collaborated on Much Ado About Nothing. I'll stop making jokes. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for the next 5 seconds. Go. You wasted it!
I wanted to see if you could actually do it. I didn't waste it. I was challenging you. No, Much Ado About Nothing is really weird because the lead characters are actually Claudio and Hero, but Claudio's a dick and Hero's too young to, I guess, have sway over the world or whatever. And then you meet Benedict and Beatrice, and from the instant their names are mentioned to one another, it's just
Well, they've known each other forever.
forever. It's kind of like Zelda and... who's the bad guy?
Ganondorf.
Ganondorf.
Yeah, it's like...
We've been resurrected a bunch of times, forever, together, and I hate you.
And Link's just there as, the middleman.
I'm a good boy!
That's Navi and we fucking hate her.
Listen!
Every 3 seconds.
Which is kind of what Beatrice's
Oh.
friends do to her. They're like, hey, can you listen and maybe not be such, a bitch all the time? Maybe be
With
nice.
all the cousins and everything.
It's your family.
It's your
come
family.
on!
And a lot of the actual characters in Much Ado About Nothing are female.
I mean, yeah, you've got Hero and Beatrice, and then you have her cousin and their aunt, and yeah.
The mom. Unless you watch the movie with Denzel Washington, Kenneth Branagh.
And Keanu Reeves. And, nope. Beetlejuice.
Come on, you got this. He plays Dogberry.
I know.
See in his face. One of our, like, best friends
Dream
is
team.
named the same name.
Michael Keaton!
There you go!
Did you actually not remember, or you
No!
trying to get me?
I'm trying, yeah. I knew you'd get there. Also, I wanted that reaction. Michael Keaton! By the way, hey man, how's it going?
My favorite thing about Beatrice is that she's got all of this stalwart independence without being a raging bitch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asks for her hand in marriage, she turns them down, and then he still has it in him to go, "By my troth, the fair-spirited lady." Like, you have to be pretty chill to have just turned down a member of nobility and have them still go, "Yeah, she's cool."
Yeah, she's a really awesome person, because even though she's, what's the term?
Cantankerous.
Sure. Go with cantankerous. She's actually really sweet. Like, she cares a lot about her cousin. Also, she's got that, like,
She's...
where I'm at, I'd eat his heart in the marketplace.
Yeah, she says she's willing to commit murder for her family.
And would do it. It's a very well-written character.
Beatrice was my favorite, like my stalwart, die-hard favorite for almost a decade. I'm not even joking. And then my husband showed me Merchant of Venice. My girl Portia, she's a lady of intense wealth and nobility, and her father's dead. And he is long enough dead that it's not like Olivia in 12th Night where she's deep in mourning. She's, had the time, the moment's passed. It's now to the stage of her life where she's like, okay, what next? What do I do now? So her father, rather than just like being like a normal person and being like, hey, yeah, no, marry who you want. Like, you're a smart girl, figure it out. He's like, so I've devised a riddle.
Break it down when we talk about the Merchant of Venice.
We'll break it down when we talk about the Merchant of Venice.
It's all about Portia.
It's all about Portia and how amazing she is.
Girl Portia.
It's all about your girl Portia. So she's really pretty and she's really wealthy and she's single and everyone's like, ooh, I want to hop on that train. Mostly because I want your land and your money. Ayy.
All about that power and control.
All about that power and control. And she's talking to her handmaid and she's like, hey, fam, I love you and I love my dad and I want to do what he says. But also, that guy's a drunk, that guy's a wimp, and I don't even know what his problem is.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. My girl Portia's like, I really want to get married to someone that I love. Slay! Yeah, not yet. She's not slaying yet. Okay. She's still like...
Wait, I'll keep it right here.
She's being chill. Okay. She's keeping it on the deal.
I'll keep that right here.
So she is like minding her business, being gorgeous and like beautiful and rich and like running a house and being like this really adult noble woman. She found out through this boy that came courting. He had all these trimmings and trappings and he solved the riddle and she just love at first sight. They're a perfect couple. He tells her after he gets the girl that, hey man, like I love you, but I had to like indebt a friend to make this work. Like, can you help me out? And she's like, I'm rolling in it, man. I got you. And then when they found out that Shylock doesn't want to take the money, won't take whatever they add to it, she goes, okay, well, I don't know this guy, but I love my guy, and my guy loves him, so I have to help them. So she does what every great Shakespearean lady does. She pretends to be a guy for like 10 whole minutes.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a common thing.
So she shows up at the trial in drag.
Yes.
And they somehow believe that she's the judge. And she's like, oh, I'm just like really young for my age. Yeah, I'm just like real learned. Yeah. But she plays like she's completely ignorant to the situation. She's like, okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So you said this, okay, and then you did this, all right? And just kind of drawing it out inch by inch, yard by yard. Just a little bit more. Just a little more. And so then she comes to the conclusion that, well, gosh, looks to me as if you have no option but to, give him a pound of your flesh.
Yeah.
So he gets all ready, like in the movie version I'm thinking of with Jeremy Irons and Al Pacino. They get him down on the floor, on his knees, and they, like, knife to skin. And she goes, but you don't get any of his blood. What? Yeah. You said a pound of flesh. It said nothing of blood in the agreement. So if you make him bleed, you are in violation of the law, and we can take all of your property and throw you in jail. So,
Fair.
make your choice. And he's like, oh, well, if that's the case, then I'll just take the money. And the judge went, sorry, dude, you said you'd rather have your pound of flesh than the money. So you don't get the money. Bye. But Portia...
So she puts herself in that situation to make sure
saves
someone she doesn't actually care about is okay.
Because someone she cares about them.
Yeah.
She saves the goddamn day.
Empathy, baby.
She saves the goddamn day. The only thing I don't like about Portia, and I feel like this was Shakespeare trying to meet his word count, Portia gives her guy a ring and says, under penalty of death, never take this ring off. Like, if you love me, don't fucking do it. I don't care if someone's, like, waterboarding you or, like, got a metaphoric gun to your head. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And then, after she rescues this guy, saves this guy's life, she's like, oh, hey, glad I could help. And he's like, oh my gosh, is there anything I could do? She's like, no, nothing. He's like, no, you don't understand what you just did for me. Like, anything, literally anything. She's like, I want that ring. No, I don't think you understand. I can't give you this ring. No, but you said anything. That's the only thing I want. So they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. He eventually gives her the ring. She then goes home and goes, hey, dude, where the fuck did your ring go? And he's like, oh my god, you don't understand? She's like, really? I don't understand? Because from where I'm standing, I told you never to take that fucking ring off. And now it's gone. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I have so many feelings, help me. And then she's like, just kidding, fool, I got it right here. It was me. What?
I mean, in that case, actually kind of. But I'm also,
That is like the one thing that annoys me about Portia. So Portia is probably my favorite because she's a diehard Ravenclaw. Like, a problem is put before her. And yeah, she uses her heart, but she uses her head to really solve all of her problems.
Good written character.
Good written character. She's got depth and empathy, and I really hate that bit at the ring, but it makes her human.
Mm-hmm. We all have that weird, flawed voice in the head that goes, do this! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's just kind of like a joke. You're just like, yeah, give me the ring. And then it becomes a contest. You're like, no, give me the ring. You what? You know what? Because you kind of shut off that part of your brain that remembers that this was supposed to be a joke, and then it becomes a competition, and then you win.
I think the next person on my list is actually a twofer. It's 2 for 1 deal.
2 for 1?
2 for 1 deal. 12th Night or What You Will.
Yeah.
Very long story short, you've got a group of people from one place, and in this group of people are twins.
The twinsies.
Twinsies! Yeah, you got a guy and a girl. Alone in all the world.
Yeah, you have Viola and Sebastian.
Yes, good job.
I'm actually very familiar, but we're going to keep going.
It's great. I love it. My favorite.
I've never seen Shakespeare in my entire life.
Viola's on a boat.
Nope. You got me to do it once.
So Viola's on a boat, and then the boat crashes on submerged rocks because drama. And she thinks everyone...
It's not drama without a shipwreck.
It's not drama without a shipwreck.
And wet clothes with the shoulder rip. The shoulder is always ripped.
It's
always off the side.
You have to have the shoulder rip, or if there's no shoulder rip, there has to be a bodice rip so you can see the corset underneath.
Ah.
Ooh, sexy. Shut the fuck up. So Viola crashes on an unknown shore. So she's in a foreign country, and we find out real quick that her country and this country are at war. Mm-hmm. So if anyone finds her and her surviving compatriots, shit's gonna hit the fan. It's gonna get real bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dangerous being a woman, like, traveling around the country in a patriarchal society, so she disguises herself as a guy, because when all of your cast members are male, it's easier for them to act like guys. And then goes to, I guess, to earn her keep with this duke.
Well, money. You gotta get money so you can get out of the country, so you can, mourn your long-lost twin brother. Because that's not a trope.
Sebastian!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the crab.
I got into that. I don't know where I went.
You were embodying Viola.
Okay.
Because no one can hurt your siblings but you.
Standard.
So
she goes to this duke and it's like, hey, I'm a mad good entertainer. And he's like, cool, because I'm really depressed. I need someone to, like, play the music. But stop playing the music. I have depression. Go hit on this girl for me.
Professional wingman.
And so
you can there's websites for that now. Don't go to them.
Don't do it. So she is like, fine, dude, I'll go hit on this girl for you, but I really don't want to because I'm secretly developing this, like, deep and abiding crush on you, but I can't tell you that because this ain't the century where being gay is okay and you think I'm a guy. So yeah, sure, I'll do your bidding. I'll go hit on this girl for you. And she's a noble lady, and her brother just died. She's deep in mourning, and of course, it's not like Viola would know anything about that.
No, not at all. I mean, emotions.
So this lady's in such deep mourning. It's been, like, over a year. She's still wearing black. She's not seeing visitors. And she's a single woman. She should be courting. Like, don't waste your face. That whole nonsense.
Because that's what life's all about.
So Viola goes to the door. Viola goes to the door and will not be turned away. She does such a good job playing wingman for the Duke that Olivia is just like, damn, that boy. I like that boy. Yeah. I don't know how much I like that boy or why I like that boy so much, but
yeah. Hey, baby, how you doing?
How you doing? And then Viola's really confused because she's like, why is this girl acting like that? Oh shit, she's got a crush on me because I'm the man. I've got a crush on the Duke. And the Duke's got a crush on Olivia, and Olivia's got a crush on me. Shit's fucked.
Yeah.
If you take out all the stuff that's not Viola, Olivia, and the Duke, and Sebastian, the play gets really short. So, by the end of the play, they all meet.
It's wild.
It's wild. They all meet, basically, at Olivia's house, and the Duke's like, hey man, I wanted to marry you, but now you're married to my serving man? The fuck?
Yeah.
And then his serving man is like, hey, I'm not actually your serving man, and that's my brother, and I have a crush on you. And he's like, the fuck? That's gay. And then he's like, not gay, because I'm actually a woman, and that's my brother, and I'm gonna marry you now. End of play. And we all lived happily ever after.
And now we don't have to do 12th night anymore.
And now we don't have to do 12th night anymore. I think I like Olivia better than Viola.
Because Olivia and Viola are very much written as people with emotions.
They have a lot of depth of feeling.
And they're not ashamed about those feelings.
No, and there's a lot of mourning there. There's a lot of this deep mourning that's usually only written for male characters. The Hamlets and the Henrys that you see really pouring out their feelings on the stage like that. With Olivia, she's sobbing openly.
I mean, when you're sad, you're sad. Besides Olivia and Viola, there's, I think, the one serving maid.
Yeah, Mistress Mariacost.
Yes, her.
I feel bad for her, because she gets treated like crap through the whole play and still ends up marrying the guy that treats her like shit. Like, she dotes on him, and she thinks that's the best she's gonna get, and so she goes with it.
That's not how that works.
So, I think I've exhausted what I can say about them.
Yes.
Viola's chill, Olivia's chill. Who else is there? Okay, my dude.
Alright.
Midsummer Night's Dream is a fucking feminist character study. You have Hippolyta.
Yeah. Also,
then you have Hermia, then you have Helena, then you have Titania.
Literal Queen of the Fairies.
Literal Queen of the Fairies. First character you meet is Hippolyta, and this may or may not be self-evident. She's the queen of the Amazons. Period, full stop.
The queen. Done.
And she's with this guy Theseus. Theseus is like, hey, I know we're not married yet, but like, let's do the thing. And she's like, dude, literal days. Like, you have hours. I think you can wait. And then somebody comes up while he's sitting there trying to like make moves on his lady. And this guy's like, hey, I have a dispute I need you to settle. And he's like, fine. This guy's got a daughter, and this daughter fell for a boy, and that's not the boy that she was supposed to fall for, you see.
Yeah, because that's how emotions work.
Because that's how emotions work, yeah. She was supposed to be married to the guy that her dad likes.
Exactly. How dare she? She's a terrible daughter.
Because that's how that works. You find out that the, I guess, opposing suitor, Demetrius, has slept with another woman, and that chick's now head over heels for him.
Yes.
But he wants Hermia anyways. So Lysander, the guy that's actually in love with Hermia, is like, if you and her dad are so tight, why don't you marry each other? And that, of course, doesn't go over very well.
What? So insulting people causes conflict?
It does, Nick. So then her dad's like, hey, this is ancient Athens. No, you won't. It's the reason you do it. So her dad's like, hey, this is ancient Athens, and my daughter's my property. I can do whatever I want with her. I can dispose of her how I please, and that'll be to Demetrius or to her death. And Theseus is like, well, shit, okay. Yeah, it's in our rule book, so Hermia, you gotta make a choice here, man. You can either marry Demetrius, you can endure the livery of a nun, or you die. And she says what's gotta be one of my favorite lines in the whole of Shakespeare. Hermia
and
is being the fucking feminist icon of the goddamn century.
Okay.
Sitting here like, no, I would rather die than
be stuck
give
with
myself
that.
to that man.
Yeah.
And so Theseus is like, well, this is the situation you're in. Think on it. You have a few days. And then he tries to go back to like, hey, Hippolyta, like, how you doing? And she's like, I'm queen of the fucking Amazons. You just condemned a woman to death for not marrying a man. How the fuck do you think I feel?
Yeah.
And so he goes, I'm officially mad at all three of you because my girlfriend is mad at me. I have some private schooling for you both. So he goes and shit talks the guys, and I just imagine like some beautiful scene, because we don't get it, but just a magnificent scene where he just like rips them a new one.
I can imagine so many words. I've heard words said,
but in Iambic Pentameter.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yep.
For all you kids who went to public school,
I'm sorry.
And you're like me with undiagnosed dyslexia, and neither your teacher nor your peers could explain to you what Iambic Pentameter is, it's a heartbeat.
You're welcome.
It's just up and down. So, while Theseus is schooling Demetrius, you get to meet Helena, who is one of the most hilarious and pitiful creatures in the whole of Shakespeare. She's friends with Hermia, like lifelong friends, and
They're bros.
Bros, they're tight, yeah. And she doesn't blame Hermia for being loved by Demetrius, because she knows that Hermia isn't into Demetrius. There's actually a lot of really intense sisterhood between them, which I think is really cool.
That's what we're talking about, the women of Shakespeare. They're actually friends.
They're actually friends, they're actually people, you get to see them.
There's not that whole weird
frenemy thing. So Helena, well-meaning Helena, hears from Hermia, directly from Hermia and Lysander, that before a decision can be made, they're going to run away. And Helena's, at first, is like, I think she figures that, oh, sweet, Demetrius is free, like, he's mine now, with Helena out of the way.
He has to be with me.
So she does what every great character in a Shakespearean play does, and she plots and she plans, and of course it blows up in her face, but long story short, she tells Demetrius.
Mm-hmm.
So Hermia and Lysander head off into the forest. Demetrius and Helena head to the forest. And in the forest, this is where we get to meet the
Puck
queen.
and Titania.
Yeah, Puck's cool, but Titania.
Women of Shakespeare. Yeah, where we get to meet Titania.
Titania's a badass. She's a fairy queen.
Queen of Fires, yeah.
She's got powers, she's got mad skill, she's got all that swagger. So Oberon and Titania meet up, and Oberon's like,
I'm the king.
Yeah.
And she's like, haha, well,
what
fuck
jealous
you.
Oberon, fairy skip hence, I have forsworn his bed and company. He gets real mad at that. So they're batting back and forth, and you can tell these guys have history, and you can tell they have a relationship. Kind of wonder, like, what's their deal? Why are they quarreling? Why are these, like, supernatural spouses fighting with each other? So she's got this boy, and she got this boy because a votress of her order had this kid and then died.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fairy queen's like, it's fine, man. You dedicated your life to me. Like, I'll raise your kid. Oberon's like, but I want the kid. Gimme.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I told his mom I'd raise him. And Oberon's like, I don't care. I'm your Oberon. Like, I'm mad sexy and you love me. Give me your kid. And she goes, yeah, I'm just gonna get, like, really mad at you and, like, cause some storms and fuck off to the ether. Bye.
That's not healthy.
No.
Not a healthy relationship.
No, not a healthy
So unlike
relationship.
Benedict and Beatrice, it's very conflicty and could use some counseling.
Could definitely use some counseling. So then Oberon goes, fine, she won't give me this child, so I'm going to get my friend Puck to go get the special flower, and then I'm going to put the juice of that flower on her eyes, and then she's going to fall in love with the next live creature that she sees. And of course, because I'm a fairy lord, I'm going to make that creature be something horrific. He turns a guy into an ass. And as we learned from you, you can put a horn on a donkey, but it's still an ass.
Yes.
So
that happens.
So Titania, for all of her badassery, spends a large part of the play coiled around Bottom the Weaver. So
Acting very out of character.
Anyways, so she's busy. So we're gonna pan back. We're gonna swoop back over.
No, we're gonna pan out.
But that's not how.
And
that
we
works.
have. I don't care. So we're pan out, and you have.
So you pan out. You have this deep, thick, mystical forest.
Yeah, and you have this woman in front who is, as you've come to know, Helena.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Lysander and Demetrius together chasing after Helena, and you have Hermia in the back going, "What the fuck is going?"
You skipped a thing there.
I know because, and now we go back to Lily.
So
how did this happen? And then we do the reverse montage where you zoom right back, and they have a Puck. Doing Puck things, so and we'll talk about Pucks one
Oberon's
day.
Like, hey man, I need your help in violating my wife's bodily autonomy. Go get me that flower. And so he gets the flower, he puts it on his wife's eyes, and is like, yeah, fuck it, I guess I don't care about her. And then he's like, so these humans, these mortals that are running around my forest, they're causing a bunch of havoc. So can you put some of that stuff from the flower, like, on Demetrius's eyes? Like, you'll know him because of the clothes he's wearing. Because that's never blown up in anyone's face, ever.
That's not super bad. You know,
profiling.
Details and instructions are important.
So Oberon, what he wanted was for Puck to put the love juice on Demetrius's eyes so he'd be in love with Helena and everything would work out great. But instead, fucking Puck had one goddamn job.
I mean, technically, if you want to go with him. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about Pucks one day.
You can have your Puck monologue.
I'm gonna have my Puck monologue one day.
So Puck is like, man, I love Oberon. He's my man. He's like that dude. He's the king.
He's my dude.
I'm gonna put a belt around the earth in 30 minutes. Like, I can do this. I'm gonna make him proud. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be like bros. So of course he fucks up.
Of course.
And he finds Lysander and Hermia sleeping.
Doing the thing. Yeah.
sleeping. And so he's like, oh, the dude in the Athenian garments, because they're all from Athens.
Yes.
So he
But Oberon didn't know that there was two sets of people
Oberon didn't know
because he couldn't possibly not know it. He's the king.
So Puck follows his orders and puts, the juice on Lysander's eyes, and he...
Give him the juice. Juice.
Juice. So he's sitting there sleeping with, like, this love nectar on his eyeballs.
That's so adorable. That's He got the love juice.
Love nectar on his eyeballs. So then Helena comes by and is like, hey, Lysander, have you seen Demetrius? And he's like, no, but I've seen your pretty face. So he's now head over heels in love with Helena and goes chasing after her. And then Helena's like, the fuck? You love Hermia. Like, how can you throw her over for me? Like, what kind of game is this? And then
Leave me alone!
Leave me alone! Like, she's my friend! Like, how dare you? Yeah.
Exactly. Bros before bros.
Helena's chasing Demetrius. Lysander's chasing Helena. Demetrius finally catches up to Helena and Lysander and starts trying to fight with Demetrius over Helena. And then Hermia wakes up.
Fight!
And then Hermia wakes up, and then she finds them, and Helena's like, the hell, man, I thought we were friends, I thought we were sisters, like, all this time, all this love that we shared, and now you have your friends playing a game on me? And she's like, I didn't do this. So they go around and around and around and around, and then...
Round and round, goes around, comes around.
You're terrifying. So then, Helena utters one of my favorite lines to Hermia, and it says, though she be but little, she is fierce.
The shirt, yeah.
Happens to be on my shirt.
Yeah, it does. Everybody see it? There we go.
Oberon catches up to Puck and it's like, the hell, dude? I wanted you to, like, reduce the confrontation. This is worse. What'd you do? He's like, oh yeah, I put the juice on his eye. Which guy? That guy. No. No, Puck, don't tell me this. That's the wrong guy. Oh yeah, I see that now. Now that they're next to each other.
Fair. Fix it! And now we're back to the montage pan-out scene.
We're back to the montage
where you have Helena...
Chasing
Lysander,
Demetrius, chasing Lysander, chasing Hermia. Yeah.
No, other way. Helena?
It don't matter. They're all, everybody's chasing everybody. Everybody's
chasing everybody. All time.
So while Puck's sitting there, while Puck's sitting there trying to fix everything, Oberon goes, maybe I shouldn't make my wife fall in love with something against her will. So he puts, like, the antidote love juice on her eye, and she realizes that she's been snogging a fucking donkey this entire time, and wakes up and goes, me thought I was enamored of an ass! And he goes, yeah, you kind of were, and she doesn't question it at all, and he's just like, well, guess I'm gonna get away with that! And they ride off into the sunset like magical...
Don't worry.
Royalty.
She found out later. It's in the addendum at the end.
I knew it.
Something terrible happened to him, and that's why we haven't heard from him in years. Anyway.
Then... Puck using his magical, like, Pucky fairy powers.
Thank you for not saying Puck using his magical love juice. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that I said it. I realized in this moment that I should not have said that out loud. And we're moving on. And Puck fixes the day.
So Puck kind of does this Deus Ex Machina thing. And fixes it and gets, like, the juice on the right people's eyeballs. And then they fall in love with the right people. And then they wake up with, like, their clothes washed and their brains all sorted out. And they're like, I don't know what happened, but it felt like a dream. So they all get married together.
That's the play.
So they all get married. And it's great. There's a play within a play. There's a bit about a lion. There's a lot of women in it.
So, yeah, Midsummer's Night's Dream has a very women-heavy cast.
Yeah, they pretty much... They kind of push the story along, and the guys just kind of try and keep up.
Okay.
Hippolyta doesn't get a really big part, but I like her because she sticks by her guns for the whole thing. And Hermia is just... I feel for her, because she just doesn't want to die.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. And
Helena is sad.
She's sad, and she's taking it out on the people around her, but to her eternal credit, like, she had no way of knowing of the Fae intervention, and I feel like...
But she did mess up.
She did. She snitched on her friend.
Yeah, she did a terrible thing because...
She betrayed her friend.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Which happens.
But
they all, because of magic fairy juice in the eye, it gets all sorted out.
Love nectar in the eyeball.
Love nectar in the eyeball sorts everything out.
You heard it here, folks.
Who's next?
Much Ado About Nothing, Midsummer Night's Dream. Oh. So I've gone through the comedies, We're into the dramas
We're into
now.
the dramas? Let's get into the dramas.
You would think that I would probably end my discussion, or start my discussion, with Ophelia, but I only just recently started appreciating Ophelia as a character. I used to be really bored by Ophelia. I thought she was a really flat character, and I didn't realize that that was kind of intentional on Shakespeare's part. She's supposed to be really calm and really genteel and really subdued, domesticated, for lack of a better word.
It's the eye of the storm.
So that way when she loses her fucking mind,
yeah,
you have something to contrast it to. People are still debating about, whether Hamlet was actually crazy or whether he was playing crazy. All you need to know to answer that question is to look at Ophelia, because Hamlet's madness seems very real until you see Ophelia's, until you see the way that she is completely undone. There are no moments of lucidity. There are no periods where she is still in control of herself. She's completely abandoned by the madness.
The tether snapped.
Yeah.
She went mad, and it was grief and loss and pain.
What I can say about her is that I appreciate her so much more than I used to. She's kind of a plot device. Her whole purpose is to, I think, expose Hamlet.
It is.
Because there are parts where...
She is a plot device, but at the same time, when actresses get into it...
She becomes a person.
She becomes a person. She's not a person until she disconnects herself from everything she knows and loves.
Yep. It's not until she, cuts herself, for lack of a better word, free, that she actually gets to, move about with this autonomy that Hamlet takes for granted. And I also think one of the most exposing things that she does is he'll be playing the madness game, and she comes up to him and she goes, I don't understand, why are you doing this? And he can't keep the mask up.
No. That's because it's a mask.
He cracks. So if I had to pick a favorite dramatic Shakespearean female, it would be Lady Macbeth, and I'm gonna fucking tell you why.
Tell me why, Lily.
So everyone blames Lady Macbeth for everything that goes on in that play, and I'm gonna tell you why it's bullshit.
People are completely responsible for pulling the puppet strings on everybody else.
Yep. So something that I think a lot of people don't realize, because modern interpretations tend to leave it out, he's killed people with his bare hands before. He was a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first time he's drawn blood or ended a life. It's just the first time that people cared, because it's a king. And this is back when kings were thought to be divinely ordained, so you're going against God, as well as destabilizing an entire political region.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, it's Lady Macbeth.
Power vacuum.
That's the first thing, is that he was already an experienced killer before this shit happened. That's one of the ways that he rose up in ranks, is by, slaughtering people on the battlefield.
That'll do it.
So, it's not his first time sending somebody to the pearly gates. Secondly, the witches weren't supposed to tell him about the prophecy.
That's a huge thing. Yep.
That's a piece of the play that often gets left out, is the higher up in the coven going, the fuck did you just do?
Poke. Oh, exploded. Fuck. Whoops.
We thought it would work. I told you not to tell him. Yeah, but...
It's just stupid human. Let's see what happens. Death. Death happens. That's what happens.
A lot of death.
Just so you know.
A lot of death, a lot of murder. That's also why you shouldn't poke around with witchcraft, kids.
That's not even in the top 3.
That's not
but
even...
yes.
No, that's way down at the bottom. That's
way down at the bottom. Death is not the worst thing that could happen. So think about that. And Lady Macbeth. Lily, just, yep, okay, hold on.
So Lady Macbeth's chilling at home waiting for her husband to come back from war. And he sends her this letter that says, hey, these phantoms appeared out of thin air and they told me that I was going to be king over everything.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Totally.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, shit. Long story short, she basically double dog dares him to commit murder. Because he's like, I could just kill the king and then the prophecy would come true. And she's like, yeah, fucking do it. And he's like, oh, I don't
you.
I don't know if I should. Yeah. That seems wrong. Does it. And then she's like, okay, we're good now. Don't do any more of that. We're done. We're royals now. We have greater standing. We leveled up. It's fine.
We killed a man. And got everything we wanted.
Hobos.
They're one of the original murder hobo parties.
Just quit while you're ahead, man.
Plays and D&D, the only difference is one's on stage. And the costumes are better. And they're handmade. Looking at you, cosplayers. Go you. It's a gift.
So, Lady Macbeth is
It's the whole scene with the screeching and the bloody hands.
Yeah, so Lady Macbeth is like, hey, we've got everything we could ever want. Maybe stop. And Macbeth's like, no, murder! Stab, stab, die, die.
That's, it all plays out.
It all comes out.
It all comes together.
So...
That's where they got the character ideas in Dark Souls. Got it.
So, He keeps killing people. He kills another member of royalty, I think. He kills his best friend. Best friend then haunts him at a dinner party, like you fucking do. And Lady Macbeth subsequently loses her mind. Because she just wanted...
Normal people, when they commit... Okay, hold on. The average person, when they commit massive amounts of, murder, which... How many murders is too many?
One.
One
murder's too many.
One murder too many. So when something like that happens, it breaks something in your brain face. One murder is one murder too many. If you keep committing murder, it's gonna keep doing a thing and to your brain and stuff. And pretty soon, you're gonna go crazy and you're gonna start screaming and there's gonna be blood on your hands. Literal, metaphorical, ectoplasmic, I don't fucking know.
People are like inherently good and they don't want to do stuff.
Compromise. Most of the time.
I think most of the time people are inherently good.
You never know.
So he does it, and she ends up killing herself.
Yep.
She's like, this is too much, too real, I'm out. And then he keeps committing the murder, because he's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a pattern now. It's just a way to live.
He's like, no, I can do this. I can win. No, but Lady Macbeth.
It is. It's a character that you can actually empathize with, because she's like, okay, I want this. I want the security and the safety, and I just want, this is my goal. I have made my goal. I am happy. What is going on?
What is going on?
Shakespeare invented the first serial killer play.
He did. No, he didn't. There were so many more before this in great tragedies. And Lady Macbeth is a curious character because she is one of the few characters in specifically Shakespearean theater history that has a history of overshadowing the Macbeths. If you look through the canon of Macbeth couples that have come and gone, oftentimes it's Lady Macbeth that people note more. They have more to say about her as a character, more to say about her performance, and Lady Macbeths that have absolutely stolen the stage and scene and spotlight from their leading men, and I just think that's fantastic.
Well, she actually is treated very much like the main character at points in time, and that's not a big thing in a lot of the other plays.
Nope.
She has the spotlight directly on her. It's about her.
She's got these huge, gripping monologues.
Yeah.
We hear about it in the text, and some people show it, but she's had a child before the play starts, and the child's dead by the time the play opens.
It's mentioned upon, but they don't spend a whole lot of time on it. It was a common thing back in the day. So.
Yeah. And there's this really interesting dichotomy, because she is without a child, and then there's a woman who dies later in the play who's pregnant, and she's got like 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
And she's the wife of Hamlet's best friend. And then Hamlet's best friend and his wife and their unborn child and all of their living children get killed at Macbeth's command. And I don't have the mental energy or the education to completely dive headlong into all of the potential metaphors and compare and contrast that there is between
the psychological implications of all that.
Between Lady Macbeth and her barrenness and the other wife and her fertility and then the way that the baby was cut out and all of that. It seems pretty self-evident what Shakespeare was trying to do there.
It's there.
It's there. If you really wanted details, I'm sure somebody wrote a college-sourced paper on it.
Go for it. Go mad. Don't.
Don't. I think that's a big part of this, is don't go crazy.
Mental health is important.
Mental health is important.
Yep.
Lady Macbeth, she's fascinating.
She's a good character study on how letting the power-hungry, manipulative side of your brain taking over for just a little bit, just enough to get the job done, and then we'll go back, is not a great idea. You have to balance your mental state, or you will collapse like a star.
Well, and she couldn't tell anyone, because the person she could talk to didn't see anything wrong with what he was doing. And the people who would sympathize with her would have to turn her in for treason and crimes against the crown and God.
Mm-hmm.
And you really get to see what she's made of. And actually, now that I think about it, it's not too common to see a woman in Shakespeare on stage by herself in a non-romantic, non-morose format.
I thought that's why we're ending with her.
No.
Oh.
I was just ending with her because I love Lady Macbeth.
Okay, well then.
The women of Shakespeare are amazing. There's so much fodder there for life advice and inspirations and just great snappy
learning
one-liners.
from mistakes as well, because that's the thing what we need to do more.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in Shakespeare. People fuck up royally.
And you can see up to the point, like, oh, if we would have done this, or done this, maybe this would have happened.
I feel like Shakespeare...
Communication is key, people.
I feel like Shakespeare was that friend who would be like, hey guys, can I give you advice? And they'd be like, nah, fuck you, William. Like, I got this. And he goes, okay. And they come back and they're like, what happened? And I imagine he just passes over like a rolled up parchment with like a wax seal on it. And it just says, I informed you thusly.
Okay, now which one is it? The grandfather, the father, or the grandson?
I'm thinking this is the father to the grandson.
Okay, so it goes up the chain of command.
It goes up the chain of command.
That's why the paintings all look so different. They switch out.
And on that
Conspiracy
note,
confirmed.
on that note, watch more Shakespeare. Go see the plays. Don't fuck with the fae.
That's just
Give
step one.
Employees good directions.
Give your employees good directions is important one.
Don't snitch on your friends.
Yeah.
Don't murder people.
Don't murder people. That's important. Even though, we don't talk about it a whole lot, you should definitely take care of your mental health. It's really important that you actually take care of all the things going on in your brain so you can stay happy and healthy and alive. Just keep that in mind.
That way you can stay here and throw more Iambic Pentameter, I was going to say slang, but that doesn't work.
You can
Insults.
throw slang.
There it is. Iambic insults.
Iambic insults.
Ooh.
Punk name. Yes! Is that it? We're good? Daisy! Hounds! Thank you for coming to Lily's Talk. Y'all have a good night.
Managed to not swear as much.
Good job.
You made it here! Congratulations! Not many survive. Welcome to the end of the show. I'm Daisy, and if you like what you heard here, you can find us pretty much anywhere podcasts are distributed. If you're into the whole social media thing, we're on Twitter at Ramblin Tea House and Instagram at Ramblin_Tea House. You can check for updates there, or there's that one billboard in the forest too. Full disclosure, we're not sure where it came from. If you want to chance that dude with the knives, that's up to you. Or you can learn more at our website, ramblinteahouse.squarespace.com. And also, no matter what Kevin says, the hounds are not for sale, so could you stop asking? Okay, thanks. Bye.